So a question we get asked a lot is, what is the cost of IT, or what should IT be costing me? Now, that's a pretty open-ended question, and it's quite difficult to give you a specific answer on here as to what your IT is going to cost you. But what I will run through today is some of the things we talk about with our prospects and our clients is around understanding what IT is costing you now, and then also looking at what those costs could look like and how you can manage those costs a lot better. So there's a whole lot of different areas around your IT at the moment. So you're obviously spending on things like software and licensing. You'll have some cloud infrastructure, I'm sure, costs in there. You're definitely going to have internet costs. But some of the costs you're probably not considering are those costs around what the impact of IT is having on your business. Now, when I talk about the impact of IT on your business, I'm talking about how efficient is your IT running. So how well are your users able to use the system? How quickly are they able to log on? If they do have an issue, how quickly are they able to get back up and running? That's actually a cost to your business that you're probably not even considering. So just think about it for a moment. Let's say your whole IT system went offline. Your network was down, your internet was down, your servers are offline, and you've got 25 people in your office. How much is that costing your business? You've got to look at those numbers. You've got to be looking at, okay, well, I've got 25 people. What's my average salary cost across there? Even if it was, let's say, $60,000 a year, and they're offline for 4 hours, do those numbers. That's a significant hit to your business. Sure, there's going to be things that some people can do. Let's go do some filing, let's make some phone calls, whatever it is. But are you really effectively doing what you need to do as a business? Now, 4 hours doesn't sound like a long time. Put a number against it and it can start to add up. But think about that. If that 4 hours turns into a day, turns into 2 days, turns into a week, what's that costing your business, both from a downtime perspective, a reputational perspective? So these are the things you need to start thinking about when you're looking at how you're going to manage and support your IT environment. Another big thing is you're probably using an IT provider, I'm sure, or you've got an IT person on site or in-house. That's great. You can get access to them and things like that. But you want to make sure that they're available when you need them. And that's pretty key, because the last thing a user needs is they've got a problem on their PC and they can't get hold of anyone to fix that problem. Not only is that user sort of stuck and not able to do what they need to do to get on with their business, chances are they're probably now going and trying to fix it themselves, whether that's spending 3 hours on Google trying to work out what the problem is and what the error message is. Potentially they're going to make the problem bigger than it was in the beginning, and that's just because they want to get back up and running. And with the way IT is moving, we're seeing a lot of emphasis on the ability for users to manage their own environment. Now that's great to a certain extent, but it's not always feasible, and it's definitely not always possible for users to resolve a lot of the issues that pop up. So look at those things as part of your process. Obviously, you want to look at the hard costs and what are you actually spending on service A and service B. What are your phone call costs? What are your internet costs? What are you paying for someone to come out and fix that particular problem? And add all that up and look at what that looks like. But also look at what the lost opportunity cost is for your business if your IT is not working as efficiently as possible. And I think that's something a lot of people don't take into consideration. We've spoken and we've seen organisations where it takes 15 minutes for a machine to boot up and log on. Now that doesn't sound like a long time, but if that person turns up at 8:30 to do their job and they turn on their machine and they've got to wait 15 minutes, so what are they doing for that 15 minutes? Chances are they're probably going to get a coffee, make some breakfast, come back, sit down, shuffle some files, and then log onto their PC. Now, one off, 15 minutes, doesn't sound bad, but add that up over 5 days a week, 48 weeks in the year if they're not on holidays and things like that. That is a significant time suck on your business. The time wasted for just that one person to have that one issue on their machine that goes unchecked is considerable. The cost to your business is considerable. So you need to be looking and thinking about those things and where you can get better efficiencies. And that's where you need to start considering the spend cost around your IT. So chances are you've probably, if you're a mid-sized organisation with sort of up to about 100 computers, 100 users, chances are you're probably using an outsourced provider, a partner, a one-man band running around and doing some support for you, and that's great, and it's working. It could be working. But what is it costing you if they're not available? You might have an IT person on staff, but what's it costing you as a business when he's away on leave or he's away sick? Not just the salary that you're paying and the holiday pay and all those type of things, but what's it costing the rest of your staff if he's not available? What if that person's not available on the weekend or at night when you're traveling or something happens over the weekend? Who's keeping an eye on your systems and those type of things? So you need to be thinking about that. Your business might not run 24/7 from a client perspective, and your doors might not be open 24 hours a day. But the reality is your IT needs to be available 24 hours a day. Your staff, your team, and I'm sure you as the owner and the manager of the business have an expectation around being able to access your systems and access that data and the information when you want to access it. Not just when the doors are open for your clients, but when you need to access it. I know for me, I'm accessing it all the time, and that's, as a business owner, it's about having that ability to go, well, actually, I've got a couple of hours and I need to knock this over, so I'm going to log on the weekend, or I'm going to log in at night and catch up and do these sort of things. It might just be email, but it could be accessing my system, my CRM, whatever it is. If they're offline and I can't access it, man, I'm the owner of an IT business and it frustrates me. So I have the advantage that I can probably troubleshoot and fix it myself in most cases. But what I do have is access to my team who run 24/7. So they're monitoring our systems, they're monitoring our client systems, looking at what's going on, keeping an eye on all those alerts. It might be midnight on a Saturday and a server goes offline. Our team know. They can respond. And they can get that system back up and running, or at the very least organise someone to be out on site on the Sunday or the Monday morning when it's needed. And that's something that it might only seem like a little thing, and it might be that your business doesn't run 24/7. But when was the last time, like if your server went down on a Saturday night and you didn't find out till Monday morning, what's the impact on that on you when you've got all your staff turning up on Monday morning and they can't log on, or your email goes offline over the weekend because it's hosted internally, or your internet link's down, or whatever it is? It doesn't matter what it is. You need to be thinking about what that impact is. So not only does that allow you to think more holistically around what IT is costing your business from a dollars and cents, and this is what I'm spending, but what it could cost your business from a lost productivity, availability, and those type of things if something goes wrong. Think about it like, it's almost having a good IT platform and structure and support and management platform around that is like an insurance policy. You call on that when you need it. The benefit of having a structured support environment is that you can call on it anytime, whether you need it or not, but you're going to have problems, you're going to have questions, you're going to want to ask and find out what's going on. So you need to be thinking about how that will benefit your organisation. The numbers around that and the costs around that, typically you'll be looking at, the ideal scenario for you as a business is to know what you're spending each month. And that's what you want to get to. You want to be able to get to a point where you know month on month, so you can forecast it and cash flow it and do whatever you need to do within your business. So you know that for the next 3, 6, 12, 18 months, that it's going to cost you X amount for your IT services. Look, if things change and you're scaling, or you're scaling back, you're scaling up or back, that cost, you can easily manipulate and manage what that looks like to suit where you're at in your journey, and in your business journey and what you're trying to achieve. So if your business is growing fast and rapidly, you want to be making sure that you can get resource and capacity in there from an IT perspective to support what you're doing as a business. And that's more than just the actual monitoring and support piece. It's having that guidance and visibility around what servers do you need, what infrastructure do you need, what links do you need, should we be moving to the cloud, should we be moving to Office 365, whatever those questions are. It's about having access to that information and those resources to help you make the decisions that you need to get your business to where you go. Hopefully it's got you thinking about some of those things that you need to consider outside of the actual dollars you're spending, about what the cost of getting IT right in your business is. So if we go right back to the question, what is the cost of, what should IT cost my business? Again, you need to look at what you're actually spending, and also what the impact is if that's not working the way you need it to work. And they're the two biggest things that you can work through to understand what IT should cost your business, or what you should be spending. Obviously, there is a limit and there's a cost versus return, but we can almost, for organisations in that sort of 20 to 100 users and 20 to 100 computer space, we know the way that we structure services and the way that we're working with clients, that you can get a 24/7 managed arrangement in place that's going to be less than certainly hiring your own team, and that's a given in that sense. But you also, the benefit you get is access to a range of resources, a range of experience between the team that you just can't build internally yourself unless you're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars a year on just salaries alone. So they're the sort of things you need to consider, and that's what we do with our clients, and that's how we're working with our clients, is around structuring those costs, giving them peace of mind that they know what they're going to spend each month so they can plan from a business perspective, and there's very little surprises in there. The surprises they get are more around, and I wouldn't even say they're surprises, they're planned events about growth and scale. We know that we need to do this at this point in time, and we know that this is what it's going to cost us, and we already know what additional costs from around a support and management that looks at. So it's one less thing to worry about in your business as you're growing and scaling, about how to support and manage that infrastructure that's going to be needed, and more so how to support and manage your team at the end of the day, and giving them access to the resources that they need to continue doing their job. So they're not Googling, they're just asking. We'd love to hear from you. If you've got any questions or comments, put them below and we'll get back to you and we'll answer those as soon as we can. Cheers.